A little introduction for our audience.
Joe, I run One Young Patriot, and I don't know, I like post conservative content or something. You know, whatever the Koch brothers tell me to do.
Oh, Coke. Hold on, did you say Coke or Cope?
The Koch brothers, you know, I don't know, it's like the right wing version.
I don't do drugs, I'm sorry. I don't know who the Koch brothers are.
Alrighty. So, Joe, it's a pleasure having you in this server. It's a pleasure having you in this interview. So,
yep, glad you could make it.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
So the one question that I have for you, and I think it's an important question that we'd like to point out, is you're on Politogram, of course, and what do you think about all the weird accounts that follow you? How do you deal with that?
I'm just like up all day, like, not all day, but I mean, most recently when I post a post, I just like have like a trillion comments, and all these people, I don't even get it, because most of my followers are right-wing people, and my posts get a lot of engagement from right-wing people, but the comments, like, I got 500 comments on my post 3 days ago, and a lot of them are left-wing people, because the thing is, when one of them sees something that I post and they think it's outrageous or something, they repost it to their story and they say like raid or something. And
yeah, I know.
And that just happens.
They like dick in the butt, so. Yeah,
it's a consistent cycle, really, because one person sees it, they say raid, and then all the other people post it on their stories, and it just like is like a cycle.
So, Joe, I have a question. Does your political view come from, like, what you've seen personally, or does it come from, like, your parents or something? Because you're fairly young. You're very young to have, like, very political views. And I'm not judging you, of course. I'm just wondering where your views came from.
Well, certainly not my parents, because my parents are very different politically, like, vastly. Well, my dad's like a neocon, and my mom is a libertarian.
So what are you?
I'm a paleoconservative.
Now, can you just describe to me what that means?
Well, we're very, of course, like, nationalists, also, we want to protect our
So you guys
borders.
are just more traditional.
Yeah, basically like
neocons,
a traditional conservatism. Okay. I mean, if you look at neoconservatism, it was made in it was made during the Vietnam War. It's very not old, and it was made basically just of the Democrats who are war hawks. So they're basically not even conservatives. They're just war hawk Democrats.
I can see what you're saying there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're more of like an Eisenhower sort of guy compared to, like, let's say, like a Ronald Reagan, George Bush sort of guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say so. I think I would say so, but I mean,
I'm gonna piss on Ronald Reagan's grave.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be like a Ronald Reagan kind of fan. I mean, I like some of the stuff he does, but a lot of the stuff he does kind of screw people over, to be honest.
So, Joe, what do you think of black people?
Just like any other people.
Alright. I'm sorry I'm dicking around, but what do you think of... So
Joe. I got a question for Joe.
Hey.
Joe, listen.
Before I kiss you.
If a black man came up to you and said, I would like to have sex, or you're racist, what would you say? Because, you don't want to be racist, but, like...
You guys, cut it out. Ask real questions.
Okay.
Ask real questions.
So...
What? No, I'm going to ask a real question. Y'all shut up. When did you start getting into politics?
I mean... I've been, like...
Is it, like, a new thing, or, like...
No, it's not new at all. I mean, I've been... I started learning some stuff about politics when I was probably, like, 12. Or 11 or 12, I started learning a little about politics. Let me think.
Now, how old are you now?
I'm 15.
I trolled my first libtard when I was 12 years old.
Yeah, you know it's what all the girls call Ben Shapiro, the pipeline to right wing views. No, I mean seriously, like the first thing I watched was like a Hunter Avallone thing when I was like 12 or something.
So you met Charlie Kirk. Did you have an enlightening talk with him in any way, or
is his face really that small? I need to know.
Also, is his face that small?
No, it's not incredibly.
Man, that was lied to.
It's memed a lot, but I think it's mostly just angle, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I met him. Didn't really chat with him that much, but I talked with him for like a few bits. Just talked about like the political future and stuff, and that was when I really kind of identified with his views at that point. But I no longer do so. I mean, I agree with some of his points, but he's more of a neoconservative than I am.
Now, have you met any other big major conservative figures?
Let me think about that. So, I met Steve Franson.
Okay, I think I'm more.
Who is Steve Franson?
I'll drop in the chat. Steve.
Okay, because I've never heard of this guy.
Steve Franson. You can look him up. And I met like a lot of people. Kind of forget it at some point.
Oh, that's a very interesting picture, G-Man.
What's an interesting picture?
I would know. Yeah.
Yeah, save yourself and don't look good.
I'm curious to what is your outlook on very far left political views? What is your outlook on that?
I mean, honestly, well, I mean, I don't really like them generally. I mean, yeah, as a general rule of thumb, I'm kind of against the far left. Oh, and back to your question, yeah, I met Donald Trump Jr., met Dinesh D'Souza. I have met, Steve Franson, of course. Mm-hmm. Benny Johnson. I almost met Jaden McNeil, but I had to leave.
Okay, so you've met these people, and do any of these people follow you by any chance, or have you ever been quoted, or one of your posts been reposted by a major conservative figure?
I'm not sure. I don't really follow it that much. I think some page retweeted me, but I can't exactly remember what it was. Or no, maybe it was reposted me on IG, but I can't really remember. I mean, I don't really think about it, and it's kind of hard to find out because I get a ton of reposts on my stuff. Right now, I might post something and get 25 or 30, and I don't really take time to sift through it, so it's not I would necessarily know. But as far as I know, I'm not sure. I don't think so, but I mean, if I look through my reposts, I might be able to find something.
Okay.
So I'm just wondering about this. You're 15, so I'm assuming you're in high school?
Yeah.
So do people in your high school know about your Instagram? And if they did or do, what would they think?
Yeah, a lot of them do. It really depends. I mean, there's this girl that was commenting on my page, earlier that goes to my school, and she was insulting my page and all that. But of course, she really didn't talk to me in class, so it's not she's just kind of an internet warrior. I'm gonna go troll you on your page and then not talk to you IRL about it.
But keyboard warrior. Yeah,
keyboard warrior. But I mean, I don't really generally deal with a lot of those. I mean, I have friends that think it's really cool. The page thing. And I have friends that don't really care. I don't really have a lot of friends that don't like it.
I'm going to pop in here real quick. So I got a question. I got 2 questions from a friend of mine. He asked me, what are your thoughts on people such as Nick Fuentes, Richard Spencer? And the last question was, what do you use in your hair? Yeah, you have a very nice hair, Joe. I'll give you that.
People will say it's greasy or it looks really wet, and I'm kind of on the fence on it personally.
God damn it! I was muted the whole time. I was trying to ask questions.
Are you a pomade sort of guy? Do you use pomade in your hair?
No, I do not. I just have very naturally greasy hair. I mean,
Fair enough.
Like
Are you Italian?
Maybe a little bit. I'm Polish and Czech for what I know.
All right.
Okay.
So we have
you pass. You're not Ukrainian. You pass the Czech.
Let him answer the questions, guys.
So wait, let me think about it. So, yeah, I don't understand my hair. Like, honestly, one time I took a shower and then, like, 3 hours later, my hair was just, like, greasy. And, I'll answer your question about, like, Fuentes and, Spencer and all those people. So I don't really like Spencer. You know, I feel like, first of all, I think that Spencer isn't really relevant at this point, you know, after Charlottesville and whatnot.
Wait. So. Richard Spencer? Isn't that the guy who voted for Joe Biden or some dumb crap like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't associate.
Oh god, that dude is a brainlet. I've had some good burgers in my time.
Yeah, yeah. You know, some caramelized mushroom, some caramelized
good stuff right there.
Some mushrooms. That's some good stuff. Yeah. No, I don't really. I don't really like Spencer. No.
Yeah, and I don't.
A lot of stuff he does is cringy and, you know, pagan and whatnot. It's not really putting Christ first, and it's not really putting America first. It's just being some, you know, cringy LARPer who does stuff. I don't know. Nick Fuentes, I like some of what he does. I'm probably gonna go to AFPAC. So we'll see how that goes.
What's AFPAC? Is that America First something?
Session. Yeah, it's like it's during CPAC, right? Well, it's at the night of one of the nights in CPAC.
So, Joe, what is your opinion on Israel? What do you think of it as the two-state solution? What is your opinion on that?
I think a two-state solution is beneficial.
It should be a one-state solution. It should be Israel only, but that's my opinion.
Imagine just like a no state solution. That's what a globalist would say.
No. Yeah, I said a one-state solution.
Or an anarchist solution, an anarchist solution, no state solution. I don't know. Yeah, two-state solution, I guess. I don't really care what goes on in the Middle East. Not like a big deal for me. So
yeah, it doesn't really affect us all that much.
Yeah, I mean, we're not.
I mean, to some degree, I guess it does, but yeah.
We can get our oil from Texas as long as AOC doesn't interfere with that.
Yeah.
So I have some questions that people want to ask.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Somebody said, "What's your most extreme viewpoint?"
That's a good one.
Let me think about that. Maybe my opinion, you know, like a full ban on abortions.
Okay.
I was just gonna ask what your stance on abortion
is.
Yeah.
We have an. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you all off.
Wait,
it's okay.
On that, like, Politigram matchmake thing?
Yeah.
That page is interesting.
I have a question that I've been kind of wanting to ask for a while.
Yeah.
So, if your influence continues to grow on the site, and, you know, you, of course, as you get older, do you plan on using that influence to, you know, do something like, let's say, what Nick Fuentes did with, like, America First, or, you know, what Charlie Kirk did?
Definitely.
Definitely?
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely a very beneficial thing for me to have a platform. That's really what I wanted to do it for. Use it, you know, sort of for a movement. I mean, to be honest, like, if, you know, I, you know, buy some ads or something and I get my page up to 50,000 followers, I can really influence a lot, you know? You know, and it's so easy to become influential in these days of social media. It's so easy to become, like, a famous pundit or something. I mean, if you really know what you're doing, that's not hard at all. I mean, I could, you know, emulate this success with, like, thousands of people. But no, I definitely plan to use it in whatever way I can.
I'll be right back. Little medical emergency just arised.
Little medical emergency. Oh my god. So somebody asked a question. They said, "Do you think you're smarter than everyone at school?"
No, I mean, well, it depends on what sense you're talking about. Maybe political. Maybe I'm more politically informed than most of the people in my grade at my school. But I mean, it depends on what type of smarts you're talking about. Because I definitely think I'm probably the most politically informed in my grade, at least. But if you're talking about at geometry or algebra or something, maybe not.
I have one last question from myself. They all probably have other questions. The last question was, do you ever get bullied for your viewpoint at school? Do people ever, bully you?
No, not really. I mean, some people oppose it and stuff, but I don't really let anyone bully me about that, so... I mean, it's mostly just, there's, 2 girls that oppose my viewpoints, because they're, the, ACAB Emily types, just,
yeah.
Here's 1,000 ways you can help with the situation in Bakalakistan, or whatever,
I'm back. I cut my fingy, I'm sorry. I had to go get a Band-Aid.
Wow, imagine getting a Band-Aid for cutting your finger, just, no.
Yeah,
I'm gonna kill you, how about that?
Hey. We gotta keep it a little, PG.
Alright, so I had a question, another one. So,
that was PG. I can be PG-13 if you want.
Okay, so the other question was, what are your thoughts on the current situation with President Biden moving troops into Syria? How do you, if let's say you were to run for public office, where would you what would your plans to be? Say you ran for a governor or a state senator or something like that.
Oh, definitely to withdraw troops from wherever I could. Of course, I'm not a globalist, and I don't want to have our troops die for foreign countries or some oil or something. So I would definitely put pressure on whoever could do it to remove troop presence from the Middle East and basically everywhere. And I would also work to get rid of this NATO interference in our country. Where they're talking about the NATO just interferes with everything, really. It's an awful organization.
I've got a good question that's kind of military related. What do you think about secession? No, you can wait a minute. What do you think about secession?
I think it's unrealistic at this point.
Okay. Well, I know, legally it's obviously not realistic, but would you support the idea of different states breaking away from the Union?
I mean, maybe the formation of a new union could potentially work, but I don't see how that would really happen, and I don't understand how the logistics would be. I'm
just asking, would you support it? Not asking if you,
I
think it's viable.
don't think that I would. I think eventually it would just have to be some sort of maybe a defense union, but they run kind of separate governments. Basically
all right. I get
basically if you just kind of got rid of a lot of the Fed control. Basically, you still have a small federal government, but the states can very much run themselves, and that is what I think would be a good solution to that. Maybe just less federal control, more leave it to the states, so they can do things that the states want to do.
That's reasonable.
Now, Joe, do you think we should behead the enemies of Allah's will?
Oh my god.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Alright, look, I have a real question.
Let me ask a serious question though. So the situation in Burma now is getting a little
bit. What does Burma have to do with anything?
Nobody knows where the fuck Burma is.
Wait.
Alright, let him just ask the question, right?
So I just saw today that Burma has stopped using central banking, and you can draw a couple of parallels with other countries that have been recently invaded by the US that opted out of central banking. Do you fear that America will intervene in Burma as well, as it did in other places?
Fear a color revolution of some sort, basically just to overthrow. Because, I mean, there's just like this history of presidents or leaders of nations attempting to stop central banking and then being killed in some way or another. So, I'm worried about the situation because I think that might be a positive, but it's going to put them in the target of a lot of people's guns. I mean, all these global organizations just like the like the central banking. So it's going to be really, really tough if they want to keep that out and survive.
All right, I have a question. What's up with that kid? The God bless Donald Trump kid that he debated. And he's like, he's idolizing Trump and his family.
Look, I don't know.
Like, he's super
Yeah, what was that
crazy.
debate about?
I joined in the debate that you guys were having, and he's like, Trump is perfect. Trump is perfect. Blah 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 blah. His family's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. I was like,
Me a
Did
little
you see how he was talking? Did you see how he was talking though? And then he was copying his fucking movements, his hand.
Yeah,
oh my
no.
god, what a fucking
Yeah,
loser!
the guy, he has been obsessed with Donald Trump since he was something like 11, or no, I think it was 9 or something. But since he was very, very little, he's been obsessed with Trump. I think before he even ran for president. And I don't think he even really cares about politics. He doesn't even care about politics. Like, if you ask him his stance on, like, I don't know, like LGBT issues or something, and he'll just say, I don't care, I just support what Trump wants.
yeah.
So he basically doesn't think for himself. And he doesn't even care about politics, he just cares about Donald. And it's attracted, the boomers, all these boomers in, and the boomers are like, oh, kid, you like Trump. You're one of us, when they don't realize he's literally obsessed with him.
Yeah.
The
who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love that big sexy man, Donald Trump?
Hey,
Alright. Do you think that kid Reed, does he have like a mental issue? Do you think?
Maybe, I don't know.
No. Will you debate him again?
I would, if it meant more of his followers coming to my side, essentially, because I think that a lot of people have to understand that we shouldn't be worshiping Trump here. We should be worshiping God, and we should be relying on our conservatism more than we rely on a cult of personality of some sort.
So,
now that is an interesting point that you bring up. I was going to say, it's an interesting point.
Did he mention any political points, or was he just like Trump good because he's Trump?
I think he mostly just likes Trump because he's Trump, and, he says all this stuff like, Donald Trump, he's anti-sex trafficking, and that's what I like about him, and I want a Trump monarchy, and I want a Trump monarchy dynasty.
Trump monarchy. He could have just been joking around with you.
No, he's not. The guy...
No, I looked at his Facebook, and that shit goes back way back, bro. Like, I seen his Facebook. Like, dude, like, he niggas like 8 with the fucking Photoshop Trump image.
Drip,
yeah, no,
drip,
and the thing is, he bought a Trump statue. A Trump statue.
Yeah, what's up?
For like several $1,000s. As it is
with his own money.
What?
Yeah, I think.
That's weird. That's bad. See,
he has like 30 Trump masks. He's got like 50 books, about and by the Trumps, in his room. It's like his entire library. His entire room is Trump themed. Got all these posters, everything.
See, I'm gonna bring this point up. Is that in my family, I have family members who work with people who are, on the spectrum. And that's a big sign of actually, like, high-functioning autism is, like, an extreme obsession over one specific thing. Like,
I think he more sounds like a really good troll. Just very convincing.
No, the guy, he wears Trump shirts literally everywhere he goes. He has, like, a stack of Trump shirts. He has, like, they're literally the only shirts he owns are Trump shirts. Like, and he sent me a picture of, like, of his wardrobe or whatever, and he brought it out into his room and he showed his wardrobe. It was like 100 shirts thick, right? Well, no, it's 100 stick and like 10 rows of shirts. He must have had like 1,000 Trump shirts in there. Just like it was insane. It was.
Look what I chat. Look at chat.
Stop interrupting me. God damn.
Shut up.
I understand. No, you shut up. I understand this isn't a political discussion, but you do bring up a good point that there are a lot of these people who worship all these politicians and stuff, and I think it's weird, and I don't know why they do it.
I don't trust almost any politician. I don't put any trust in politicians. You know, I just let their actions speak for them.
I mean, it's just a profession like any other. I don't get why people are so obsessed with these politicians.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, no politician fully agrees with me or is open about that.
Do you think we should put politicians on a guillotine and behead them and put their heads up on pikes in the name of Allah?
I don't know about that.
Would you want to establish, you know, a Muslim theocracy, kind of like in Iran?
Hello, base department. Yeah, I think that's kind of.
Hold on a second here.
Well, that's funny because I've never seen you at the mosque. What's going on, bro?
I didn't see you at mosque last week. What's up?
Yeah,
Have you been skipping your prayers?
No, that's because I was wearing my burqa.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that.
Post.
Yeah.
Look at DMs.
No, I saw.
Alright.
I have a question. Are you Roman Catholic, Protestant? What are you?
I am Roman Catholic.
Okay. And
Yo, let's go.
does that shape your political views?
Yes, it does.
I thought you were a Muslim brother like me. Come on,
What
man.
about separation of church and state? Like the founding
Shut up,
fathers
Abby.
believed in.
Oh,
Shut
there's
up,
a
Abby.
woman? Get out of
Shut
here.
up, Abby.
For country. It
Shut
goes
the fuck up,
God,
Abby.
family, country.
It says on the corner, in God we trust, not in science we trust, you
Nigga, I said in
dumbass.
fables we trust. Fables, nigga.
Oh my God! I came back for I went for like 2 minutes. Moderator.
Sarah, I was bullying Abby.
Calm down.
Alright, who else has a question?
Iris, do you want to go? You might have a couple questions.
I'm inviting some people to the call.
Alright, sounds good. Yeah.
Are you a paleocon or neocon?
PaleoCon.
Invite,
What?
I love Donald Trump, so whatever his name is, so we can bully him. Invite him.
Don't bully him. No,
I'm
this
gonna
isn't
bully the shit
a
out of
bully
him.
stream.
What
This
are your
isn't a
thoughts on
bully stream.
neocons?
I don't give a
Neocons
fuck.
are cringy. Very cringy.
How cringe are they?
Extraordinarily. Here, I'm gonna invite some people in. Let's see if they join.
Can you be a little bit more specific?
Specific about what? He's been very specific the whole time.
Yeah, he's been pretty open about his views, to be honest.
Alright, no, I do not like neoconservatives because of, they're consistent foreign aid, they're